Hey guys, so in this one we're going to have a look at the named characters of the Necrons.
The Necrons.
The recreational Rons.
The recreational Rons. This is like Ron Weasley.
It is a bit like that. So anyway, we're going to have a look at the named characters. We've split kind of named characters up from HQ because there's just so much in it. Yeah. In fact, the HQ part of the book is bigger, I think, than any other section, including elites.
Yes, whenever you take 7 different named Necron lords.
Do you know what that suggests to me?
What's that?
Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Well, yeah. Although you would think there was tons of Necrons. And I found out in the fluff why the Necrons previously didn't speak.
Why?
Because they were groggy after getting up in the morning.
I don't believe you.
Gospel, it's in the book. They're groggy after a night's sleep and they're a bit in the morning before they came round. It's in the fluff. It is. I can't tell you exactly what page, but it's definitely in there.
There's no evidence for it, but it is a scientific fact.
You've seen it on the web, so it has to be true.
It has to be true. Well, kicking off, we're going to kick off with Bubba Hotep, the mighty Imotekh the Storm Lord. Yes, he rocks in at 225 points. He's on page 54, which gives you a nice big double page spread there of that bad boy.
And unlike some of the other guys, the same guy in the Grey Knight book, he actually has sensible fluff and not mad, insane fluff. Like,
yes. Like he's battled demons. Sisters have battled virgins for 10,000 years in the warp.
No, he's not like the Grey Knight main character guy. I can't remember his name offhand, but
Master Grey Knight.
Master Grey Knight. He actually has sensible fluff. He was sleeping, minding his own business. Some of the other Necrons woke up a bit groggy after 60 million years sleep.
So not all the Necrons woke up at the same time then?
Well, I had this argument with Justin. They woke up over a space of 1,000 years or so. But you've been asleep for 60 million years.
Yes.
That's like a whole pile of us waking up within a nanosecond of each other.
It kind of is.
You know,
yeah.
But whenever you've been sleeping that amount of time. So they did all waking up roughly at the same time. Just some of the guys rolled over slightly for another little sleep. But
so tell me about him. He woke up, then what happened?
He woke up.
How did he wake up?
There was 2 lords fighting over dominance of the planet or the tomb world where they were. And one of the lords or one of the factions thought, we'll waken him up. He's really powerful and he's a really smart general. And
did he have a fine art collection?
No, this guy doesn't have a fine art collection.
Oh, okay. That's a pity, because that's a big Necron prerequisite right there.
You have to have a fine art collection. You know, you have to have a couple of Monets and a Picasso in the cellar. But anyway, somebody decides, we'll waken him up because he's really, really powerful. And of course he'll side with me that he'll squish underfoot. And that's basically what happened. And he took over.
And he took over?
Yeah.
There's a lesson to be learned there.
Don't waken up really powerful guys. Kill them in their sleep.
The other lesson is, Matt Ward, you shouldn't bother trying so hard, mate, because any fluff you write, Daryl's going to make sound ridiculous anyway.
It is. It's all ridiculous.
Right. Let me give you this guy's stat line. Do we talk about him? He's weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4.
Strength 5, toughness 5, all over
Strength 5,
the same
toughness
stats.
5, wounds 3, initiative 2, and attacks 3, leadership 10, and a save of a 2+. So other than a good save,
he's got some good kit though.
There's nothing there that sets him apart. Right, well let's talk about his kit. Composition 1, unique, so you can only have one of this guy.
Yep.
Infantry, a character. Dedicated transport, he may take a catacomb command barge as a dedicated transport. Cool.
Probably.
So you ride him around in a Necron chariot, baby.
Yep.
Wargear, right, now we're getting into it. He has Blood Swarm Nano Scarabs. At the start of the first game turn, randomly choose one non-vehicle unit in the enemy army. This unit is infested with Blood Swarm Nano Scarabs. Any flayed one packs entering play via Deep Strike do not scatter if they aim to arrive within 6 inches of this unit.
So if you're using your flayed ones, and you have some other guys who use funky rules to get in there earlier, you pick a unit of the enemy. Ideally, you're going to pick a unit that's not going to be in the middle of the enemy's army. Maybe a unit that you reckon is going to be out in the flank or something, and you just land right beside them and then eat them.
Yeah, that rule would have been cooler if every turn that unit was taking a hit as well, or taking D6 or 2D6 hits. you know, of the actual blood swarm nano scarabs
Actually
eating
eating
their way,
them,
yeah.
yeah.
Or every turn that went past, their armor save went down
down.
by 1.
Yeah,
Or
but
went- yeah, or went up by
you
1,
have
yeah.
regular scarabs to do that to you. This just gives you the opportunity of selecting an enemy unit that you think is maybe weak, or you maybe just want your flayed ones beside it, as flayed one is now a virus. It is. So you maybe if you use flayed ones, but I don't think we're either huge fans of them.
Well, I don't know. That was before I heard about that rule, which meant that
They can deep strike without scattering.
yeah, they can deep strike without scattering. If you have a nice juicy squad, I might keep a nice big squad of flayed ones just to tie them up.
Yeah. It is a tactic,
I don't think
but it's
Necrons is necessarily going to be about rolling over the top of
No.
your opponent.
Shouldn't
It's
I
going to
think.
be about tying them up and constantly reducing the options your opponent
Yeah,
has.
exactly. You want to get at their softer units, and it's not a power army. It's not Grey Knights who you can just march across the board and kill everybody that gets in your way. It's not that sort of army. You only really, for me, have one really good combat unit, so it is a balance army.
Yes, but the cheese in this army for me is in it's a very kind of sneaky kind of an
Yes.
army. It has a lot of sneaky things, like for example, as you'll find out, turn 1, I could have basically the entire table for you treated as dangerous terrain.
Pretty much the entire table, and that becomes very useful, especially in Dawn of War, when the other guy has to walk on the board. But we'll cover that whenever we get to the guy that
We
does
will,
that.
but I'm
Yeah.
just giving you a flavour
Warren's
here.
getting carried away. It's
The
an
next
alright
thing he
little
has
rule.
is the Staff of the Destroyer.
This is quite good.
This ancient and ornamental rod of light, staff of light, was first wielded by Zehet.
Zehet himself.
Zehet himself. You know, that's it. I agree. It's amazing.
Zehet staff.
If Zehet had it, it has got to be cool. And he was founder of the Imotekh dynasty, and has seen battle in the hands of every one of his successors. The staff can unleash a searing beam of unbelievably destructive pan-dimensional energy.
Strength 6 AP1.
Once triggered, the Staff of the Destroyer takes some time to rebuild its charge. You know, we could probably do a Games Workshop paragraph generator. I think that's going to be my next project for Beasts of War.
It's like one of them little radios or lights you get you wind up
It just
battery.
puts out, you know, as long as you get unbelievably unleash, get all that in there. Anyway, its range is star 2d6 inches, strength 6, AP1, assault 1, 1 use only.
Yep.
When firing the Staff of the Destroyer, nominate a direction. Then roll 2d6 and extend a straight line from Imotech's base in the chosen direction, a distance equal to the total rolled. Any unit, friendly or enemy, onto this line takes a number of hits equal to the number of models in the unit under the line. So it's like Death Ray,
Yes.
only not as good as Death Ray.
It's not as strong as Death Ray, but
It's not as
still,
good either. The range isn't as good either.
But all you have to do is hit the first guy in the first unit.
Yeah, but it means getting this guy close to that unit. I suppose
Well,
if he's on a command barge,
if he's on a command barge, a command barge is an open top vehicle, so you can shoot out of it.
but you only get one shot with it.
Yes, but it's still pretty good. You could kill entire units with it.
Could I take out your Space Wolves HQ unit with that?
Logan Grimnar and his guys, possibly. Well, you're not completely kill Logan because it's only strength 6, but it still is a really good attack. AP1, you can get vehicles with this thing. It's good.
What would I do to a Land Raider with that?
Nothing. Not every weapon has to kill a Land Raider.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But, you know, I rest my case. Anyway, what other kit has this guy got? He has Phase Shifter.
That's an invulnerable save, phase shifter.
Well,
3 up
let's-
invulnerable
Let's
save.
just find that, and I'll just...
Page 82 or 83.
Page
is it?
82. Phase Shifter. A model with Phase Shifter has a 3+ invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Now that's good. So he's a 2+ save, 3+ invulnerable save.
Yeah.
He's going to survive.
He's going to survive a while anyway. Yeah.
Well, with 3 wounds, he is. It's got the phylactery.
Phylactery, which basically means if you get to do your reanimation protocols or your will be back, then you get to roll D3 to see how many wounds you've got.
Yes, but it's 1 use only. A model with phylactery that passes his first reanimation protocols rolls. Reanimation protocol roll returns to play with D3 wounds.
Yeah.
He's got a sempiternal weave.
Sempiternal Weave.
That's a model with a Sempiternal Weave, has a 2+ armor save.
Yeah.
That's what probably was giving him his save. And he has Staff of the Destroyer, which I had already read. And other than that, he has the Gauntlet of Fire, which is here. A Gauntlet of Fire is a close combat weapon. Attacks made with a Gauntlet of Fire reroll failed rolls to hit and to wound in close combat. The Gauntlet of Fire can also shoot with the following profile: template, strength 4, AP 5, assault 1.
So you get to re-roll your wounds with your flamer weapon.
And you get to fire it in combat as well.
Is that what it says?
Well, it says attacks made with a Gauntlet of Fire re-roll failed rolls to hit and to wound in close combat.
So you can fire it as a flamer in the close combat. That's all right.
I don't know if it... No, a Gauntlet of Fire is a close combat weapon.
Yes.
Right? Attacks made with the Gauntlet of Fire reroll failed to hit and failed to wound in close combat. So in other words,
so you're not going to get to reroll
you're just beating people with it. A Gauntlet of Fire can also shoot with the following profile.
Yes.
Okay?
We have it correct now.
It's not that cheesy, Daryl.
It's not bad though.
Special rules.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the special rules to see what he's got. He has Ever Living.
It means he can get back up even if he's by himself. It means he still gets his reanimation protocols even if he's on his own.
Right, so it's a reanimation plus.
Yes.
Okay. Humiliating Defeat, which I have here. If a character loses its final wound to Imotech's close combat attacks, roll a d3. Imotekh counts as having scored this many extra wounds for the purposes of calculating the assault result.
That's all right. He'll get the wounds that he caused on the guy plus d3. So it's all right.
Hyperlogical Strategy. An army that includes Imotekh the Storm Lord seizes the initiative of a roll on a 4+.
Except against
However,
orcs.
Greenskins always manage to confound his plans somehow, so an army that includes Imotekh can never attempt to seize the initiative against orcs.
Because Imotech's been about so long, he knows what the enemy's going to do before the enemy knows what they're going to do.
Except for
orcs,
Greenskins.
because
they don't know what they're going to do.
Exactly. So it is good. It gives you, against every other army, 75% chance probably of going first.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And then he has Lord of the Storm. If your army includes Imotekh the Storm Lord, the night fighting rules automatically apply during the first game term. Furthermore, you can attempt to keep the night fighting rules in play in subsequent turns by rolling a d6 at the start of the turn. If the result is greater than the turn number, so on turn 2, 3+, turn 3, 4+, turn 4, 5+, turn 5, a 6.
Yes, so theoretically you can keep it dark for the entire game, but it says you can roll a dice, so if you don't want it to be dark any longer, you don't have to bother rolling that dice.
That's good, so all the options are on your side.
Doesn't make you roll it each time, gives you the option of rolling it. So
and if you don't make it, or if you choose not to, the night fighting rules cease to be in effect and are not used for the rest of the battle. In addition, whilst the night fighting rules remain in play, roll a d6 for each unengaged enemy unit on the battlefield at the start of each Necron shooting phase. On the roll of a 6, that unit is struck by a bolt of lightning and suffers d6 strength 8 AP 5 hits. Vehicles are hit on their side armor. Note that night fighting rules brought into play by a solar pulse do not generate lightning.
It gives you a chance to get rid of enemy vehicles. You can't count on it. You're not saying I'm taking this and I'm definitely getting these. But if the other person has 12 units, which would be a reasonably small army, you're taking, at the odds, you would hope to be hitting 2 of them.
Yeah, but the other thing is, if you keep your night fighting in play for 4 turns, there's an extra 48 hits or 48 chances you've had to hit his units.
You could you could theoretically keep it night fighting the entire time, shoot with nobody else, bar him keeping the night fighting on, and win the game.
Could you really?
Yep.
With a strength 8 AP 5
hitting
weapon.
vehicles and side armor, as most vehicles are between 11 and 12 on the side armor, you've got a very good chance of d6 hits on side armor of a rhino.
So tell me, how would that play against a Land Raider?
You would have a chance of immobilizing and weapon destroying the Land Raider, eventually killing it if you got lucky.
If you got lucky?
Yeah.
So I could actually play, there's a battle report. Imotekh the
night.
Storm Lord versus an army.
Yes.
But he automatically gets it to keep at night.
See, it's always but.
So, how would you use him? What's
If you want a short range combat army that you don't want the enemy shooting at you as they get across the board, you use him for the first 2, hopefully 3 turns to keep it night fighting, that the enemy gets very little chance to shoot at you. And if you're using your fast jump pack guys, the enemy maybe at the odds will get 1 go at shooting at you if they're lucky before you get into them and fight them.
Is there any cheese there? Any combos or?
There probably is cheese there, but nothing just jumps out at me at the minute. But keeping it night fighting has to be considered cheesy. Especially the likes of my Space Wolf, long fang, shooting 48 inches all the time army. Doesn't really work if it's night fighting all the time.
What does it do to your army then?
It means I have to roll to see if I can see the enemy. Space Wolves have an advantage, they have acute senses, they get to re-roll it. But if you're more than 36 inches away, there's absolutely no chance of hitting anybody.
So that's pretty damn cool then.
That's all right.
Does it? But does the fact that it's night fighting affect my Necrons as well?
I believe so. It doesn't say that you ignore it. It affects everybody, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going for a combat Necron army, it's good for you because you'll have either no shooting or very short range shooting. At the odds is
here's the thing: Necron shooting is not particularly long range anyway.
No, exactly. So it helps you all across the board because I have been looking in the book and nothing jumps out to me at the minute of being a good long range shooting Necron army. You know, so Necrons are relatively short range, and for him I would go with a lot of combat.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go with a lot of combat actually with that myself because, you know, for example, your death marks are snipers with a 24-inch range, which kind of is a bit weird.
At the odds, your death marks should be seeing the enemy if they're in range.
And even the likes of the death ray itself
doesn't seem to need care if it's night fighting.
Yes, but I mean, you'll want to get your
vehicle across.
Well,
so if you turbo boost the death ray and then you can use some of the other characters to give it stealth as well. It's going to free up cover save as it goes across the board.
Okay, well, guys, if you have any thoughts on Imotekh the Storm Lord, get them in the comments below. And you know what? I'm going to call it at that on this video because I have now decided I'm going to split these up into separate videos just to keep the topic on topic.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, dudes. We'll catch you with the next one.